But let's ask a different question. When we paint, are we engaged in a practice that holds us, attracts us, compels us? You know, you sort of find for a period of time that time just stands still. And so we enjoy it in and of itself. Does that process actually engage us? Do we enjoy that? I mean, not always, not every minute. I mean, of course, you get frustrating situations where you want to put a bullet hole through your canvas. I mean, that's a different issue. But of course, we get frustrated and we can't figure things out. But, you know, it's the thing of, no, I'm going to work this out. And you work it out because it's important to understand the sense of what the process is and how it engages us with the difference between having arrived at some perceived destination of I'm this good, I've won this award, I can do this as well as that. Because that's sort of like a dead end road, right? Because when you get there, nobody, when you start learning something, guitar, painting, whatever, and you have this idea, oh, I just want to be able to do that. Well, you keep practicing. Eventually you'll get there and you realize, well, I've already started. That's not the solution at all. There's all this other stuff that I need to do. It's sort of just never ending, right? So I want to read you, in light of this, some quotes by Andrew Wyeth. It's an interview I found. It was very revealing, I thought, in terms of this idea of process. It came from Horizon magazine, which actually was a hardcover book, really. I think it came out every quarter back in the 50s and maybe into the 60s. But at the time, he was maybe the most famous artist in America, right? No one thought of him as anything but an absolute master, both of, you know, vision and craft. So the interviewer is saying, when you paint, are you engaged in a process that you enjoy? And Wyeth says, it's trial and error with me. People think of my draftsmanship. Well, I consider myself a lousy draftsman. And you're like, say what? I have to struggle with it. I paint hundreds of paintings, but I let very few of them out. Most of them don't come off. I've never really felt completed about a painting. And I'm like, what? So the interviewer, that's my reaction, not the interviewer. So the interviewer says, well, as you progress as an artist, do you sense improvement in your work? And Wyeth says, well, to put it another way, I think my greatest weakness in my work is in the subject matter. I think there's too much of it. If I ever develop into something really worthwhile as an artist, it will be when I have no subject at all. I mean, listen to what he's saying. This is the most famous and respected artist in America. The interviewer says, but what sort of painting would that be? Well, there'd be no props. I don't mean there wouldn't be any objects in the painting, but there'd be no props. The less props the artist needs, the better he's likely to be. See how fundamental, you're seeing here, he's really questioning himself, but his vision and where he wants to go and what he's trying to do. And this is at the height of his fame and his abilities, right? So the interviewer is saying, well, what exactly do you mean by painting not having props? And Wyeth says, well, take Christina, meaning Christina's World, that was purchased and hanging in the Museum of Modern Art. That painting lives on a very dramatic plane, one that makes you feel as I did when I painted it. I was lost in it. But I think perhaps it would have been possible to have painted just that field, and you have the sense of Christina without her actually being there. Now, that's going far, but it's the sort of thing I'm after. Rembrandt's Helmeted Officer isn't a great painting because of the subject, but for the something else, a quality of light, something which makes the difference between illustration and real painting. I don't mean the object shouldn't be important, But I think my pictures are apt to be overfed and the objects overexpressed. Being very severe and honest about them, I'm afraid that's why they have appeal, of course, to a broad public, because they appeal particularly to those many people who have no understanding of painting at all and enjoy seeing objects that look like real objects. A hound dog that looks as though it could bark and run around and eat bones. So that's the end of the quote. Now, that's a heck of a critique for somebody that's that famous and that's good. I mean, it's honest, it's searing almost, but he's offering us such an honest vision of the constant search for what you're looking for as an artist. And that's why it's so crucial to enjoy the process. I mean, he's at a point, he's had pretty much risen to as high as anybody could go in public esteem, right? But here's what his father said to him. This is what, I mean, he quoted it back, but this is what his father said. I don't give a damn what you do in the future, but I want you to know the fundamentals, because he taught Andrew Wyeth how to paint. I want you to know how to draw and how to have that vocabulary very clear in your mind. So you see the word he's using, vocabulary. He's actually thinking in terms of the language of paint. He's saying, you gotta learn this language if you want to give expression to your unique voice. Be sure to sign up for my 4 themed videos each month for free. This month, Mastering Color. Next month, Painting Sunlight. And when you sign up, you'll also receive the 20-minute video, again for free, 4 foundational principles to dramatically improve your painting. Go to ianroberts.com to sign up.